Okay everyone, to start off this routine, we're going to place our hands on the floor next to us and flex our feet. Here we are going to take 3 deep breaths on your own timing. Here we are going to point our feet and tip our head towards the left side of the room to get a stretch in the right side of our neck. Flexing our feet as we return to center, we're going to tilt our head towards the right side of the room for the other side. Returning back to center and flexing our feet again, we're going to tilt our head backwards to think about stretching the front of our neck. We're going to flex our feet and return back to center, and this time we're going to think about lengthening our spine as we go all the way over these legs in a pike forward fold stretch. Here we want to point our feet while focusing on getting a deep stretch in our hamstrings. Be sure not to hold any tension in the back of that neck and think about staying heavy in your head and upper body. Don't worry if you can't quite touch your toes yet, just keep focusing on reaching towards your toes while letting your head hang heavy. To increase this stretch, you have the option of flexing your feet and trying to grab those toes and pull them back towards your torso. For other variations in this pose, you can practice flexing and pointing your feet, flexing and pointing just your toes, and also shaking your head yes and shaking your head no to make sure there's no tension in the back of that neck. From here, we're going to slowly recover by rolling all the way up through our spine, 1 vertebrae at a time to come back to a seated position. Here, we're going to place our left hand down on the floor and tilt our head to the right side of the room while applying a little bit of pressure with our right hand to stretch the left side of this neck even more. Releasing your head, you're going to place your right hand down to the floor and take a big side stretch all the way up and over with that left arm to get a deep stretch down the left side. Returning back to our seated position, we're going to repeat and stretch the other side. This time we're placing our right hand on the floor while applying pressure with our left hand to stretch the right side of our neck. Releasing our head, we're going to take that right arm all the way up and over to get a nice deep side stretch in this right side. Here I have my left elbow on the floor, but if that's too far of a reach, you can just place your left hand on the floor and stretch that way. Slowly recovering out, we're going to return to our seated position to bend our left leg to have the bottom of our left foot touch the inside of our right knee. Here I want to make sure that my hips are square and are in line with one another. From here, I want to lengthen my spine as much as I can over this right leg to get a deep stretch in this hamstring. Don't worry if you can't stretch over very far, just focus on reaching towards those right toes. Staying in this hamstring stretch, now we're just going to point our foot and apply a little bit of pressure with our hands to stretch the top of this foot as well. From here, we're slowly going to recover to our seated position by rolling up through our spine 1 vertebrae at a time. We're going to go ahead and switch to stretch the other side, so our left leg should be forward with square hips while the inside of our right foot is touching the inside of our left knee. With a flexed foot, think about lengthening your spine over this left leg to get a deep stretch in this left hamstring. Staying right where we are, we're just going to point this foot and add a little bit of pressure with our hands to stretch the top of this foot as well. Recovering out, we're going to slowly roll up through our spine, one vertebrae at a time, to come to a seated position. Here we want to find ourselves in a butterfly stretch, and we're going to think about lengthening our spine and leading with the top of our head to stretch all the way over these feet to get a deep stretch in our outer hips. If you can, reach your arms out in front of you and think about really trying to lengthen through these fingertips to find length in this spine. Recovering out, we're going to roll up through our spine one vertebrae at a time again to come to our seated position. Here we are going to place our right hand on the floor next to our right hip while placing our left hand on the inside of our left knee, and we're going to think about twisting away from that leg to get a deep stretch in our inner groin. Here, try to keep your left arm as straight as possible while releasing any tension in the back of your neck. Slowly rolling up through our spine, we're going to recover out and switch to do the other side. This time our left hand will be on the floor while our right hand is on the inside of our right knee, pushing away. Recovering out, we're going to roll up through our spine to come to a seated position. Here, we're going to take a second to place both hands behind us, and we're going to push our hips up to the sky to take a second to really open our hips here. Slowly releasing our hips back down to the floor, we're going to straighten our legs out to a pike position and take a second just to shake our legs out. Next, we're stretching our outer hips and glutes, so we want to flex our right foot and place it above our left knee and think about bending that left knee into our chest to get a deep stretch in these glutes. Here you want to focus on really lengthening your spine as much as you can to sink deep into this right glute stretch. From here, we're going to slowly stretch our left leg straight, and we're going to switch to do the other side. Recovering out, we're going to stretch that leg straight and think about slowly making our way back into our butterfly stretch position. This next stretch is a little bit of a challenge, and we're going to try and grab the inside of our right heel, and we're going to think about trying to stretch it all the way out to the side into a heel stretch position. As an easier alternative, you're going to stretch that right leg out to the side and think about trying to get your nose to that knee while placing both hands on that leg. If you're doing the heel stretch variation, think about trying to straighten that right leg as much as you can while keeping your spine nice and lengthened and tall. Wherever you are, you're going to take that right leg and put it back into our butterfly stretch to switch and do the other side. Remember to always do the variation that best suits your body because you can always come back and try the harder variation later. Recovering out, we're going to place that left leg back into our butterfly stretch, and then we're going to turn towards the right side of the room in our pike stretch with 2 straight legs. Here we want to place our hands on the floor behind us with our fingers facing our bottom, and we're going to flex our feet and take a nice gentle stretch in our upper spine. Here, try to focus on really letting the front of that neck release to let that head hang heavy to sink deep into this arch. Slowly recovering out, we're going to now place our elbows on the floor and repeat the same thing, except this time we're going to try and find an upper spine stretch by really sending our chest towards the sky while we release the front of this neck to really sink deep into this upper spine stretch. Be sure to really make sure you're breathing here. Recovering out, we're going to round our spine to lay all the way flat on our back for Shavasana here. Here we want to really focus on relaxing our body and take this time to clear your mind and even practice meditating. Use this time to focus on your breath and to try and release any tension that you might be holding within your body. We're going to start introducing movement back into our body by wiggling our fingers and our toes. From here, you're going to slowly pull your knees into your chest and roll over on your side to make your way to a seated position.